Good evening, Chicagoland and CAN TV viewers. My name is James Flagg. I'm a veteran of the United States Army, and welcome to the Veteran Support Show. Tonight's broadcast is hosted by Warrior Summit Coalition and syndicated by here at the new CAN TV studios, located at 1309 South Wood Street, right around the corner from UIC's Medical District. We have a great show lined up for you tonight on this balmy Thursday, August 4th, a special throwback Thursday for you vets out there. The topic of the conversation will be housing and VA home loans, and our special guest for tonight is Mr. David Piatek, current Illinois National Guard service member and Vice President of Federal Savings Bank right here in Chicago.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having me on board.
Yes, sir. With David and I will be discussing everything housing and VA home loan related right here on set. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're a first-time user of your VA home loan, or if you're curious about the process in general to purchase a home, I hope you have your questions ready because Dave is very knowledgeable. If you do have any questions, feel free to call in at 312-738-1060, and we are active on our social media this evening, so you can ask your questions via Twitter. Follow us at Warrior Summit US. So the members of Warrior Summit Coalition are very honored to be here tonight, and speaking directly to the men and women of the military that don't know what Warrior Summit Coalition is, we are a nonprofit organization based right here out of Chicago, Illinois. We were founded in 2008 and incorporated in 2010 by 4 military service members. And the mission of Warrior Summit is to provide military veterans and family members with access to a multitude of military benefits: VA health care, employment, housing, legal, child and family services, religious and faith-based services, and disability and mental health services, all in a one-stop shop format. We are very honored to be here tonight, and our method of delivery is not only through CAN TV, but our annual Welcome Home Warrior Summits, which you can find a little bit more information on our website at www.warriorsummit.org, or you can call us at 312-600-7449, or email us at info@warriorsummit.org. So for those that are tuned in, just tuning in, you are watching the Veteran Support Show. I'm your host, James Flagg. If you have any questions for us, please call right now, 312-738-1060, or tweet us at Warrior Summit US. For those that do, we do have a special surprise. We will be raffling off or giving away 2 complimentary White Sox tickets to a home game later this month. In regards to connecting service members with the service providers, we thought it would be great to bring one of our service providers out. So again, I'd like to welcome Mr. David Piatek from Federal Savings Bank, and we'll just get right into it, Dave. So please tell us, who is the Federal Savings Bank, and what is your background at the organization?
Thanks, James. So the Federal Savings Bank is a veteran-owned bank. We're FDIC insured, and we do home loans across the country. So my primary focus is helping veterans to better understand their benefits, not just, hey, this is what your loan is or this is what the loan package is, but really how to leverage it and fully understand it, right? So, and that's kind of where I've gotten involved with the veteran space in the last 10 months, connecting with different organizations, support centers, coming into different companies that hire a lot of veterans, and really just educate them on the process, because there is still a lot of discrimination within the housing aspect, especially when it comes to...
Well, you brought up a great point about the loans and some of the organizations that you reach out to. Who typically qualifies for a VA home loan?
So to qualify for the VA home loan, there's a couple different categories. There's going to be your active duty folks that are currently serving right now. So you have to be at least 6 months in to qualify for those benefits, or veterans that have gotten out of the service. So that typically is about 24 months, which is 2 years. Okay. Guard and Reserve, you have to be typically in the service for 6 years. Okay. Now, a lot of times it's been kind of fast-tracked because a lot of Guard and Reserve units have deployed. So that counts towards that deployment time,
Yes, sir.
which fast-tracks it.
Well, let me ask a question, Dave, because there are many guardsmen and reservists that have not deployed. Do those individuals qualify for the VA home loan services?
They do. So they have to basically do a full 6-year contract.
Okay.
So at the end of the 6 years, they could still stay in the Guard or Reserve, but at that point, they can qualify. And one easy way for Guard and Reserve members to, I'm going to pull the screen up here.
Okay.
One easy way for you to find out because if you're currently in the Guard or Reserve, you have access to your e-benefits, right? Even if you're going to school, you still have access to this. So the easiest thing to do is to pull a certificate of eligibility. What that allows the lender to determine is if you actually qualify for the loan. So one example of what a certificate of eligibility looks like, I don't know if I can zoom this in. Yeah, that's perfect. Yep, I zoom. Nope.
There we go.
And I'll just zoom in from there, right? So it kind of gives you an example of what this looks like. A lot of people haven't looked at it before. Oh, sorry guys, just making sure that we get this a little tricky with the touchscreen, right? Here, we'll just leave it this way. There we go.
All right.
This camera thing is a little bit tricky, guys, so
right.
bear with us on this. So yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like, right? So it kind of outlines, you'll see, I just use my finger here. So you kind of see entitlement code, that's if you've been, depending if you've been from World War I, II, all the way through current. Typically 10 is from Gulf War to current. It states your branch of service, so if you're Marine, Army, Air Force, it'll state that on there. The funding fee, that's just an additional fee that the VA charges to use your VA benefits, right? That's a whole separate topic. Okay. But as long as it shows, like here, that you have your $36,000 entitlement, then yeah, you're pretty much good to go on using your benefits, right?
And that's a great point to jump into, because you talked about the different services and essentially what a VA home loan is. We know that there are traditional loans and VA home loans. In your opinion, what is the advantage of a VA home loan?
So the VA home loan allows you to leverage cash. So in the Cook County, you can go up to $417,000. Buying a home up to $417,000 with 100% financing. So especially if you're a first-time home buyer, a lot of people are looking, well, is there some kind of down payment assistance program? Or, I've been having a hard time getting a down payment. Or the opposite is true, that you have somebody that has money, but they don't want to leverage it towards using it towards real estate. Okay. They can buy a property with 100% financing. And a lot of times, they can sometimes get the lender to pay all their closing costs.
So what you're saying is, I'm a veteran. I have a VA home loan, and you say I have up to $417,000. Does that mean I have to come out of pocket? Where does the money come from to finance that home?
Okay, that's a great question.
Yes, sir.
So the VA itself guarantees the mortgage, right? They guarantee 25% of your mortgage. So that's why it's low down payment. There's no private mortgage insurance like with typical mortgage products. Mm-hmm. So the VA is guaranteeing 25% of it. Wow. So that's why you're getting such a low rate, and the benefit is phenomenal for it, right? That's for the members of the military that have served, right? It's a benefit for them.
Well, I was going to say that's a pretty awesome opportunity, because many home buyers, they end up, not buying homes because they're afraid of coming out of pocket too much money. But it's good to know that the Department of Veterans Affairs are putting measures in place so that service members can have the opportunity to purchase homes. Now,
and James, to that kind of point too, is there's a lot of misconceptions too, right?
I was going to ask you about those. Yes,
it's kind of frustrating because as we talk to different veterans, and no matter if it's here in Illinois or if I'm working with somebody in DC, Florida, Texas, Seattle, anywhere across the country, it kind of, some of the issues that come up is veterans don't realize that they can leverage the benefit more than once, right? There's really an unlimited use of the benefit. So from if you bought a property for $400,000, sold it, and then wanted to buy a new one for $400,000, you could still use the benefit towards it.
So you mean to tell me if I use my VA home loan to purchase my first home, there's still money or
if you would have
available to go into a second home, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road?
Yeah. So if you keep that home, you kind of lock out some of those benefits, right? Mm-hmm. But the reality is you can't have more than one VA home loan at the same time, which technically is unlimited.
Okay.
As long as you put down 25%. So again, with the VA guaranteeing 25%, they give you a certain allotment of benefits that you can use. Now that's a little bit more technical, and that'll probably take a couple hours to explain. So
no worries.
Yeah, but there is, and you can have two VA home loans at the same time and do 100% financing in certain situations.
Yes, sir.
Right, and a lot of times the loan is very specific to you and your needs. So. Right, so if you look at the VA's website, it can be a little bit confusing because it's not going to give you specifics, and again, every person's situation is unique to their own.
And with that, navigating the VA website may be challenging, and a big shout out to all of the folks in the VA to help out with that, because that's why we bring in individuals like David and Federal Savings Bank to kind of help navigate that process. So for those that are just tuning in, let me put David's contact information up on the screen in case you have any questions. We're here live on the Veteran Support Show with Warrior Summit Coalition. Our guest is Mr. Dave Piatek, Vice President. We're talking everything VA home loans and house purchasing for first-time home buyers. Now, coming back to that, there have been questions around, can I use my VA home loan to purchase a condo? Do you see that or hear that often? Do you advise against it? What's your what is your knowledge as far as using the home loan to purchase a condominium? And can you talk about that process?
James, that's a great question. So when it comes to buying a condo, right, because that's really, when you think about affordable housing and you're thinking, especially like if you're buying in a downtown area or in the city, single-family homes cost a lot, right? And not everybody qualifies for those. So buying a condo might make sense for your situation. With that being said, condos require VA approval. And one of the things that we do at the Federal Savings Bank is we get condos VA approved for veterans for free.
So what does that mean, getting a condo VA approved exactly?
So there's an additional step that the VA wants to make to basically we're qualifying the property, right? So there's a couple things which I can speak to on it, but it would it's also dependent on the condo association if they could be approved or not. It's really, you would have to call us.
So it depends on the location, the type of condo,
all that stuff, right?
The credit score.
They have no credit score, but what they do is they have budgets, right? They have their own declarations and bylaws, their own governing bodies, and the VA really wants to make sure for the veteran that they're protected. And that's what it comes down to. So a lot of times, if a veteran wants to purchase a property, they'll come to me, we'll talk with them, we'll talk with the agent to make sure that we have the next steps towards getting that condo VA approved. And we do it for free.
Oh, wow.
Where a lot of times, if you go to buy a condo, you're getting 100% financing, you're trying to minimize out-of-pocket expenses. So some companies charge $1,500 to $3,000 that a veteran has to come out of pocket on top of buying a home to do that.
Wow. So what's the best way to reduce that so that a veteran does not have to come out of pocket as much?
So that's one of the things I promote nationally, right, is that working with someone like myself, we will do that for you and kind of take that headache away. Because, right, there's a million things that go into it. So to teach someone how to do it, it takes a long time. Okay. And it's always changing. You know how laws are, right?
Yes, sir.
They're always changing different aspects of it.
And really quickly, before we get into the next segment, just wanted to go back. You are now watching the Veteran Support Show hosted by Warrior Summit Coalition. You can get more information at www.warriorsummit.org. If you have any show ideas, you could call us on our office phone, 312-600-7449, or you could call us here at CAN TV, 312-738-1060, or tweet us at Warrior Summit US. Again, we're here with Mr. David Piatek from Federal Savings Bank. A lot of great knowledge, a lot of great information on VA home loans in the process. Can you talk about how long each portion takes? Very briefly touch on how long does it take to get approved for a home versus how long does it take to get approved for a condo?
Okay. So just one thing to add with condos, you can buy a single family condo or 2 to 4 unit building.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't realize that, right? So they look at 2 to 4 unit buildings, they don't realize that you can get rental income off those to offset your mortgage payment and actually reduce that cost, right? And especially in the Chicagoland area, there's a ton of 2 to 4 unit buildings that you can purchase, rent out, and actually make money on it. You can actually buy it, live in it, and it's generating revenue.
And that's a great piece of information that a lot of people don't take advantage of. I know as a military service member, when I came back home, had a pocket full of money, and obviously I want to spend time and money on my family, taking trips, taking vacations, but we really want to encourage veterans that are returning with these VA home loans to invest in something that's going to make more money for them. Yeah. So what Mr. Piatek is just saying is that it sounds like you have the ability to not only purchase a home that you and your family could live in, but you could potentially rent or sublet a portion of that home or that 2-flat or 4-flat, so you could generate revenue for yourself, get your bills paid, and still live comfortably.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, and then that's a good point. So kind of to your question in regards to what's the time frame. So it's all dependent, right?
Yes, sir.
Just like anything. The market time is just depending. Right now it's a hot market, so sometimes the appraisals take a little bit longer, even on single family homes. But I would say on average it takes about 30 days for a single family home and about 40 to 45 days on a condo, right? So that's just average. But again, it's very specific to your situation. If we have to get the condo VA approved and there's some additional issues that we need to resolve, it can take longer.
Now how about the 2-flat and the 4-flat? Does that vary, or does it fall in between?
It falls in between the single family, because it doesn't require special approval, right? And the VA does have a portal where you can check what condos are currently VA approved, but it requires knowing the condo association name. But typically we'll work with the veteran. I mean, not typically, we work with them, right?
Right.
So
that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here, right? So so we'll take that burden off, and you could actually go and look for your own like for the condo you want, the dream condo. We'll worry about it once we go under contract, because again, it's so situational, and every condominium is very unique to itself.
Now you mentioned helping look for the homes or the condos. Do you guys provide realtor services, or do you connect veterans with realtors that can help find the homes or find the condos? Because I know that could be burdensome on a young man or a young woman if they're trying to reacclimate, but they're trying to find a home. Do you guys assist with locating that dream home for them?
Yeah, so we do the financing portion, right? But I work with a lot of great agents that have experience working with military folks, because the needs are a little bit different, right? Sure. So a lot of times you have, if a veteran's deployed or someone's PCSing, then sometimes they're not even available to look at the homes. I got a client right now in the Middle East. Okay, their family is actually the ones that are searching through all the properties, doing like those live screen chats. They're just running around looking for them, and they make offers on properties without ever even looking for them.
Wow.
Right, so understanding the school districts, how far is it from base, what are the needs of the family,
how safe is the neighborhood, is there
I don't know if I can talk to that, but
okay.
Right, so there's a lot of things they're going to provide that are important sometimes to a veteran that might not be necessarily important to somebody else. I mean, as you know yourself,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
You're in the service, I'm still in.
But that is something, and it's good to know that individuals at Federal Savings Bank and individuals like David do go above and beyond and help you find those services. And we see a notification that we have a caller online. Caller, go ahead with your call.
First, I'd like to thank both of you gentlemen for your service and for hosting a show like this that really helps veterans.
Thank you.
My question is, if the veteran is deceased, would the spouse be eligible for any VA home loan benefits?
Yeah, so the surviving spouse is eligible for, but it depends on the situation, right? So if the service member was killed during action, then yes, the spouse, as long as she hasn't been remarried, qualifies for the VA financing.
Wow. So you hear that? Spouses, don't remarry without collecting on those housing benefits. Yeah, so you heard it first from David.
Yeah, so there's a couple stipulations behind it. Again, really the best thing to do is to call in, talk with me, and we have to basically grab the application and the information in order to pull the certificate of eligibility for the deceased member, and there's some additional paperwork that goes with it.
Okay,
so
and first I want to say thank you, caller, for calling in, and Dave mentioned calling him. I'll go right back to his contact information. Feel free to reach out to Mr. David Piatek. His number is available right here on the screen. Sorry about that. Let me clear that up for you. Feel free to call him. He's accessible by email 24/7, but during normal business hours, 9 to 5.
James, I sleep sometimes. You know that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need to let you get some sleep. But we are here again at the Veteran Support Show. James Flagg here with David Piatek from Federal Savings Bank. We are taking live calls on the air, and we are now taking Twitter feeds and Twitter questions as well. And again, for those that do call in, we do have a parting gift or a parting prize for you. So I hope the gentleman on the phone, please stay on so we can get your contact information and get you your Sox tickets. Going back to the VA home loan piece. For first-time home buyers or just home buyers in general, what advice do you have for them using their VA home loan? Are there any pitfalls they should be aware of? Are there any special nuances they should look out for? Please educate the public, Dave.
So one of the things that makes the VA home loan unique in the lending space, right? So one of them is going to be the fact that you don't have private mortgage insurance, right? So if you're doing 100% financing, you have no private mortgage insurance, you save a couple $100s a month just alone in that. Wow. So you can purchase more. You have a higher purchasing cap.
Wow.
Now, one of the things that is also unique to the VA home loan is the fact that child care expenses are calculated against you, right? Okay. So if you have a dependent and you expense $2,400 a year in child care expenses, that portion on a monthly basis is counted against you.
Wow.
Which no other loan does that, right? So they're trying to factor in some additional expenses so you don't have that burden on the veteran.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know we're getting close to the end. It looks like we have one more caller. We'll take this call and then get ready to wrap up. Caller, go ahead. You're live on the air with James and Dave.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you? Live on air.
Okay. Hello. I'm on to know if I use my VA benefit loan once about 10 years ago, am I eligible to use it again?
Yeah. So the question is about if you use your VA home loan 10 years ago, can you use your VA home loan again? Yes, the loan never expires. So if you've been out of the service, you are just in for 2 years, you can reuse it and use it as many times as you want. So if you sold the property, right? So if you bought it 10 years ago, you sold it last year, you're eligible to reuse all your benefits. Now, one of the things that you can do as well is that you can refinance a VA property into a conventional loan. Wow. And free up your VA benefits for the next property.
Wow.
Right? So some people know how to leverage the benefit, right? They know how to buy multiple unit properties, live at the units, end up refinancing, freeing up their benefits, buying more property. But the VA home loan is designed for your primary residence, right? So you are going to live in that property. You cannot use it for a second home or an investment property.
Wow, this is just an outstanding and overabundant amount of information. David is truly a very knowledgeable guy, as you guys know, and he is willing to take your calls and your questions offline. I put his information up, but I'm going to put it back up one more time for those of you that missed it, and I know we're coming close to time, but please reach out to David. Please call him directly. Please email him. Let him know what your questions are, and what type of assistance that you need, and we'll make sure to get you connected. If you can't reach out to David, feel free to take a look at our website. Ask us questions on our Facebook page, warriorsummit.org. On Facebook, /Warrior Summit US. You could always reach out to us via Twitter to connect with David at Warrior Summit US, and we're now on Instagram at Warrior Summit Coalition. I know we're winding down to the last few minutes of the show, so I definitely wanted to thank David for coming on and providing us with this wealth of knowledge. So David, on air, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for your service, and thank you for coming on. And as we're wrapping up, we just wanted to talk about a few events that Warrior Summit Coalition is supporting in and around the Chicagoland community. So the first we have is one second, let me get this together. Tomorrow, taking place at Malcolm X College. There is a symposium for women veterans. This is for active duty military veterans, military spouses, and advocates of military spouse issues. This is taking place, although the event is sold out. You can still come to Malcolm X College tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. All female veterans, this symposium is for you. There'll be a lot of resources, a lot of individuals, a lot of businesses like Federal Savings Bank there to talk about some of the benefits that are available. If you have any information on that, please send us a message via Facebook or on Twitter. Also, on Friday as well, Veterans Upward Bound is hosting a back-to-school bowling alley. There's a limited number of spots available. You can RSVP, or you can come to Tin Pan Bowling Alley if you're looking to get involved in education, or if you need support with your GI Bill or getting back into school in general. And then last but not least, we want to provide you with our website, warriorsummit.org. Again, our goal is empowering military veterans and connecting you with benefits and services throughout the Chicagoland, but also throughout the country. So we want to thank our guest, Mr. David Piatek, for showing up today. Thank you to a lot of our lovely supporters that are watching us today, all of our sponsors, and tune in next week as we bring in Director of Veterans Affairs for the City of Chicago, Mr. Victor LeGrune. Thank you, Chicagoland, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for your service.
Have a great night. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.